Now, I didn't set the world on fire on day one in Mississippi, but I was able to put together a pattern that benefited me greatly on day two. Now, day two was probably aided by the fact that what would eventually become Hurricane Barry was forming in the Gulf. So I had cloudy skies and falling barometric pressure, two factors that fish really love. And man, I caught a bunch of fish. Check out all the action here. Gosh dang it. Man, good hit. There's a fish. Oh, missed him. Lost him halfway to the boat. He wasn't a big bass, but I would like to have touched him. Oh, that's a good fish. I mean, I guess he isn't that good. It was a good explosion. Oh goodness, yeah, he's not that good. Still a blast. Still a blast. He hit it like he was big, that's for sure. Oh, this is just awesome. Man, this is fun. These bass are crushing this frog. This is just so much fun. A little bit better fish. Got both hooks. Man, he's skinny. Skinny, skinny fish. There's a fish. All out of the same mold. Good thing I'm using the Pad Crasher Junior and not the full size, because these fish couldn't handle a full size one. Oh, come on, big boy. Come. Oh, that's a good bass. That's a good bass. Come on. Come on. Come to Papa. All right, that's a good fish. That's not a bad marsh bass at all. And he was right where he should have been, right in this little cut, matted with eelgrass. Now, one thing I've discovered about this eelgrass, it's much denser than the grass we have in South Louisiana. And so if you're fishing on top of it, you're pretty much wasting your time. Now, I'm making my casts on top of it, but I'm working the little holes in the grass and also those edges. That's where I'm getting all of my bites. And that's a chunky little marsh bass. Not gonna catch anything much bigger than this. I'm not even hoping to. I'm just out here for bites. And let me tell you, this is the most fun way to catch them, throwing these frogs. This episode of Marshman Masson brought to you by Puglia Sporting Goods. One of the things with frog fishing that makes it kind of crazy, you're throwing a chugger style topwater bait, you can generally see the bait pretty well. So you get that explosion, the bait's not there, you can set the hook. These frogs are much tougher to see on the surface, so a lot of times you don't know if that fish has the bait or not. You just got to kind of go off a feel and hopefully set the hook at the right time. Now, the good thing with these bass is they are really choking this frog. They're taking it deep in their mouths for the most part, and they're holding on to it for a while. That definitely makes a big difference. The last time I fished the Louisiana marsh, the bass were just swatting at the frogs, got so many hits with no connections. Now, a lot of those were from small fish, no question about it, but I've caught some small fish today on this thing without any problem. All I'm doing is hitting these cuts, making 10, 15 casts in each cut and moving on. I think I'm gonna make one more in this one and then mosey. Now, I've been fishing the straightaways leading into each cut, but so far that has been pointless. Fish seem to be in the cuts exclusively, or at least the feeding fish. There may be some fish out here that are just not biting. There's another one. right on that point, going into the cut. Man, this is a blast. This is an absolute blast. Our sky's kind of clouded up. There's actually a tropical depression forming in the Gulf. Probably got the pressure a little bit low here, and these fish are just chomping. Speaking of tropical depressions, now it's raining. It's all right, this is worth getting wet for. So what are your thoughts on topwater fishing in the actual rain? Not cloudy, but when it's pouring rain. I feel like the bites go way down. I think the fish just can't tell a lure from all of the rest of the raindrops hitting the surface. Obviously, I love it to be cloudy, but actual rain, nope. Not a fan. All right, as much as I want to be throwing that frog, I've switched to a subsurface bait just until this rain quits. Just because I don't have confidence in it with the rain falling. Just seen too many times where when it starts raining, that topwater bite just dies. I've got no confidence in it. Right now I'm throwing the Pro's Choice soft stick bait in June bug. Boy, is that a pretty Trinas or what? Look at that. Now, I don't know if it's acceptable to call them Trinases here in Mississippi. I'm sure they don't call them that, but that's a pretty one. Would love to be there when the tide is falling. All right, the rain has quit, at least for the time being. It was quite a thunder shower, let me tell you. It turned from just some spit to a deluge. Fortunately, I brought another shirt. Even though it's summertime, it's never fun sitting around in wet clothes. My shorts are wet, but at least my shirt is now dry. It's pretty late in the day to be throwing a frog, but with this hard overcast, I'll still feel like they'll hit it. If not, I'll go with something different. Oh, shoot, I missed him. Dadgummit. He was not big, but he did have it. Kind of an unexpected bite because he was out a little ways from that grass bed. He must have followed it a moment. Definitely not a big fish. Nice to see they're still biting the frog, though. Oh, there's a fish. He slurped it. He just slurped it. You can see he doesn't have much of the hook, although he got both of them. But he didn't take it deep. Long, skinny fish. So much fun. Man, I love this. This is why all of my vacations involve water. And guess what? I caught him in the rain because it's raining again. I'm going to be soaked again in a minute. 2 wet shirts. See you, dude. All right, hopefully you can see this. You see that matted eelgrass? The fish are not in that thick stuff. They're kind of along these edges or in little holes that you can spot. Sometimes there'll be a donut, just a open water right close to the bank. It's not the case here, but that's the type of stuff you want to focus on with this frog. You don't want to throw over all this. Kind of a waste of time. That's what I've discovered. Now, if I was in Louisiana, probably I wouldn't be fishing eelgrass. I'd be fishing hydrilla or milfoil or widgeon grass. It'd be a lot looser, or at least in the areas that I fish, and I'd throw right over it, and generally I get my bites in those holes. But this stuff's pretty thick.
This episode of Marshman Masson brought to you by Matrix Shad, and by Fitzgerald Fishing, and by Cito New Orleans, and by Versamax Corks, and by Death Grip Jig Heads.
There's a fish. On the Pro's Choice soft stick bait, the sun has popped out and that's completely killed my frog bite. Heavy overcast here, but sunshine over to the east. So I went with the Pro's Choice soft stick bait in black and blue. And obviously the fish are still biting. See, dude? And look, none of the fish I've caught today would win the Bassmaster Classic. But I'm not out here trying to catch big fish. It's the middle of July. I could probably go somewhere, maybe throw a deep dive and crankbait on a ledge and catch some better fish. I'm sure they got some around here, but this is just too much fun. I'm just out here for bites, and I'm definitely getting those. Very impressed with this fishery here in southern Mississippi.
All right, I think I'm gonna call it a day. Go spend some time at the camp with the family. Although our redfish eluded me, the bass fishing was far better than I anticipated. I had an absolute blast.
Can't wait to get back out here. I'll take action like this anywhere. Well, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Also, subscribe to the Marshman Masson channel on YouTube. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. And until next time, we don't see you in the marsh, whether it's in Louisiana or here in the Magnolia State. We'll see you right here on Marshman Masson.